Alright, Kevin here with myATVs.com. Right now we're going to show you how to assemble the TAO TAO CY50 T3 scooter. We've already uncrated it. You can watch one of our videos on our site to uncrate them if you need help with that. But I have it uncrated. I've already taken the battery out, put it on my trickle charger, and now I'll just have my bag of bolts here that come with it. I'm going to set them down. I've already taken out the first two bolts I need, which are just two little matching bolts with the nuts and the side kickstand. That's going to be the first thing that we install. In order to install that, you need a 10mm and a 12mm ratchet. You're just going to come to this side here. This is your side kickstand here. This is just the foot lever for that. So what you want to do is slide this shoe into this shoe here, and that's how we'll install it. The footrest will be facing the front. Make sure you put a little bit of Loctite on your bolts. Go ahead and slide this in. First nut. Take the second one. Start the second nut here. And go ahead and tighten them down. You can get these good and snug, you're not going to over tighten them. Okay. So their kickstands on. Now what we'll do is move to the front. Out of your baggie here, you're going to grab the main bolt and the nut that fits it. Just the nut that fits it. You're also going to grab out this washer. It's a little U-shaped washer. You're going to grab those three items out. And for this, we need a 13 and a 14mm socket. So we're going to put the steering column on. What you want to do is just carefully lift this up. Make sure you don't pinch any wires. Turn it over. And you're going to slide it up on this center stem. And when we slide it up there, and it'll slide down on there. So now what we need to do is, again, make sure you put Loctite on this. We'll take and put some Loctite on our bolt. The U's you're gonna set this on the, put that washer on like this. And then what you're going to do is just remove the wires out of the way. I don't know if you can get in there, Dave, and see that. But the idea is to get this washer to set in that hole, which once you start tightening it down, it does. But you push this through. You might have to wiggle this a little bit to get it to go all the way through. Now what that washer's done is it's formed a U around that steering column. And you take your nut on the back. The back is a 13, the front is a 14. Just get on this side here, dude. And you're just going to reach around the back here. And this is kind of a pain in the butt, but reach around here and hold that nut back on the back of the bolt. Start it with your hand. Drop it on the floor. Alright, now that's started on there, what we're going to do is go ahead and take it off its stand now. In order to do that, come around to this side here. Walk around, dude. I'm going to go ahead and just lift the back end of this bike up off the metal rack. Put it on the floor. And then just take the stand I just put on and just lift the back end up and push that down. Now it's taking the weight off the front wheel and we can start working on the front end. Once we have this up, just take this nut off, and that's an 11/16 nut. And we'll get rid of this final piece of metal so we are free to move around on it. This nut, when you get this off that front axle, you can discard it because we're not going to use that. Then what you want to do is just tap out this center column. And that'll slide all the way out. Make sure you save your front washer. That's your spacer for the front wheel. We need to save that. So now I can move the metal out of the way. Now we can go back up top to the front steering column. You can turn this steering column over to the left, and let's go ahead and finish tightening it up. This way. Easier. We usually use impact guns for this stuff. It's a lot easier, but I'm just going to do it with a hand tool so we can show you how to do it. As I start getting closer to having it tight, I'm just going to double check and make sure my washer in there is in the right position where it's just coupling that. Don't be afraid to torque down. That's good because it's not going to hurt anything. Alright. We've got that on. So our front steering stem, it's on. Next thing we'll go ahead and do is install the front wheel. In order to do that, you've got your front axle bolt that we just took out and your spacer. You're just going to get the big nut that's in the bag here. Right here. Those are the three things you need. You need an 11/16 and a 14mm wrench. What we're going to do is the speedometer cable is right here. I'm just going to untie this. And when you're putting this front wheel on with your speedometer cable, you want to make sure when this wheel goes on, that little spot right there is where that's going to sit. That keeps that speedometer from moving back and forth. If you'll notice on the brake caliper here in between the disc brakes, it's got a little plastic piece. Make sure you take that out, because what will happen is your wheel will not go in there. So we have that over there. We're going to get our wheel. Our spacer is going to go on the side with the disc brake. So we're just going to take this spacer, slide it in the hole here, take our wheel, start sliding it in this way. Make sure it's lined up in that disc brake. I'm going to put this front axle bolt in here, just let it set loosely, making sure it's not in the way when I lift this up. So on this side, you got your speedometer cable. There's two little tabs in there. You want to make sure that they get lined up in these holes here. You're just going to set it in there, and it snaps on like that. This is the tricky part. We need to lift this whole thing up. Try to keep your hand on that speedometer cable. Once you start getting this side in over here, you can go ahead and start advancing your axle bolt. Just makes it a whole lot easier when you're trying to do one side at a time. So now I have it in there. That's not going to come out. The spacer's not. I can move back over to this side. And start positioning this wheel into place. Alright, see how I have that set up there? Then you can go ahead and start pushing your bolt through. Don't try to cram this bolt through. It'll line up. You might have to move it a couple times to line it up with the other axle, but it'll go in there. Okay, there you go. It's going through now. Then we're going to take our Loctite. Make sure you put some Loctite on there. Start just tightening this down. Make sure you get it good and snug. Alright, the front wheel's on there.